Okay, Shalom. Shalom. Kum Yasha'Allah. Koholoyim La Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Bahashim Hakodash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, that by the Spirit taught us his beautiful truth. Just want to say the water to all the H.I.M and Nakwaf that's out here sincerely keeping the laws, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh to the best of their ability. Jachanan Nawaf just coming at you with another quick lesson. Pray that it's edifying by the Spirit. Wanted to touch on this particular couple right here. This is the New York Post. And let's get the title real quick. And it reads, "We met working at Walmart and cheated on our spouses. You should follow your heart." So this is the advice that you have coming from two people that cheated on their spouses while they were at work, right? You should follow your heart. So let me get this quick scripture real quick, right? Jeremiah 17:9. "The heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it?" And when the scriptures talks about the heart, it talks about the mind, the mindset, your thinking. It's not you, because your heart just in your chest, it pumps blood. It just pushes blood through the body and keeps it operational. It's not a thought type of thing. But you know, you have these people out here. You ask the average person, well, what is the heart? They'll basically equate your heart beating in your chest to what this is talking about, as far as, follow your heart. But the scripture just said that your heart is deceitful above all things. Matter of fact, it says that it's desperately wicked. Who can know it? Our hearts, our mindsets, because your mind is moving all day. Your mind is moving while you're asleep. Your mind is moving, shit popping up in your head, and it's like, you seeing shit, you hearing shit, you smelling shit, and it's just like your mind is just out of control. And that's why we need the law, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh to rein it in, to bridle it. You know what I'm saying? So, but let's get some of it. You already see where it's going. I mean, the damn title was enough, because what's going on here? If they both cheated on their spouses, they're both committing adultery, and what they're causing their spouses to do is commit adultery as well. So you have four people committing adultery. You see? Now, let me correct that. If the man, let's get this picture of this woman again, right? If this woman's husband, and she done what she done, he has every right to disown this bitch, leave this bitch, kick this bitch out the house, the whole nine, right? If he go and get with another woman that's not in a relationship and she's not dealing with anyone, he's not committing adultery. He's okay. But this bitch right here is. She's committing adultery with this man that she's leaning on the shoulder with. She's committing adultery, and he's committing adultery with her. And the scripture talks about, adulterers, law-wise, will be put to death. You see? So now, this man's wife, that, he is, obviously left with this woman that's leaning on his shoulder. Now, she's gone from his life and he has caused her to go and commit adultery. That's scriptural. Matter of fact, let me see here real quick, Salakia. Okay. Luke 16:18. Now, this is what basically this man has done to his wife. It says, "Whosoever putteth away his wife," which this is what he's done. He's put away his original wife and marrieth another, right? Committeth adultery. And whosoever marry her that is put away from her husband committeth adultery. So actually, they're both committing adultery, because he put her away, and he's committing adultery, and he's causing her to commit adultery by getting with another man. You see, because his wife, she didn't do anything wrong, so he had no right to put her away. Basically, if he's not dealing with her still, and she's not with he put her away. If he put her away, then he's committing adultery on her. And she's committing adultery on him by getting with another man. So this is a complicated situation right here. See? Now this woman right here, like I said again, the only real innocent person. Well, I wouldn't say innocent, but we're innocent to an extent in this whole four people system here is the husband of this woman right here that you see. Because she got with this man. She left her husband to get with this man. He was just like, hey, I'm a husband at the house. He's, probably providing needs. He's probably paying his, the bills and doing whatever. But by a right, if she gets with another man, he has every right in the world to get rid of that bitch, man. By law. You see what I'm saying? But let's get some of it. It says, at the time, Chelsea had a 2-year-old daughter. So you got a daughter and everything. It's just ridiculous, man. And had been married to her husband since she was 19 years old, right? So she was 19 when she first got married. How old is she here? Let's see. Did they put the age in? Oh, yeah, 34. So she's 34. She got married at 19. So they had been married damn near 20 years almost going on. Not 20, but I think, what's that, about 14 years or so? Okay. So it's a 21-year age gap. It says the Tennessee couple has revealed they fell for each other while working at Walmart, despite the fact they were both married to other people. Brad Downs, 56, and now his wife Chelsea, 34. So they got a 21-year age gap. Met at one of the discount department stores in 2012 and were instantly drawn to each other. And see, you're living in Esau Edom, the so-called white man's kingdom, where a woman can go out and work. She's, see, the so-called white man has set you women up for the okie doke, man. Where, he has set it up where you can work 2-3 jobs, because that's more tax money for him, as far as government wise. You're not realizing that had you just been at home and just taking care of the children, and and it was the old school way. The man went out and he got the money and everything and brought home the bacon, so to speak. You would have just been at home pampering yourself and pampering the children, teaching the children. You know what I'm saying? And teaching the children about godly ways, the scriptures. But the so-called white man fooled you into thinking that, hey, I don't need a man. I can go out here and do what I want to do. So now you have these women in the workplaces, and these women go out into the workplaces. What do you think is going to happen when she sees another man and she's around this other man for 8 hours? Sometimes 10 hours, 12 hours a day. What do you think is going to happen if she's spending more time with a stranger than she's actually spending at home with her husband? And he's doing the same thing, so to speak, So anyway, it says the pair quickly bonded and all this other shit. They went to, they was going to the park, but they lived in one of those small towns where basically they couldn't pull it off without people knowing about it. It says we would go and meet at a park close to Walmart, but our town is so small and we were caught, Chelsea admitted. I had no choice but to tell my husband it wasn't well received. Okay, so they wouldn't have said nothing, you know what I'm saying, had she not been caught, so to speak, Well, here you go. They got them all together, and what America does is, the so-called white man, his system, what they'll show you is look, they're living happily ever after. You follow your heart. But what was the scripture we just read about following your heart? See that? It says at the time Chelsea had a 2-year-old daughter. We got that. What else they got? Chelsea said many small-minded locals chastised her for the affair and started to troll her on anonymous forum sites. People said terrible things, that I was a home wrecker, which she was, a hoe. Yes, she was. And should lose my daughter. Yep, she should have lost her daughter too. The blonde said. And look at how they put in the word blonde. The blonde said. See that blonde shit? And you so-called black women that's running around with that nasty-looking blonde-ass wig on, them nasty-looking blonde-ass weaves, you need to cut it out, man. Because that blonde shit goes off into complete whoredom, man. Because these are the original get downs right here. The so-called white woman with that blonde hair, they are the original. Them was the ones that was going into the slave shack and running up on Jake, man, trying to get some mandingo, and then have a nigga hung, if she got caught up. It says it took a toll on my mental health. Now you took a toll on your mental health. See, all that. See, no accountability. You haven't heard no accountability in this shit so far, right? It says, despite the disapproval of the community, Chelsea fell deeper in love with Brad. 2 years later, the Walmart workers welcomed their son Carson. And you know the scriptures talks about these kids that are it's in the Apocrypha. Can't think exactly where it's at, but it talks about these kids coming from adulterous beds. You know, roughly paraphrasing, they coming from these adulterous relationships. Like, hey, it's these children don't turn out right, and a lot of the times the Lord knock them all off. And if they do live, they're bugged the fuck all out. You know, that's scriptural, man. And check this out, though. Check this out now. They eventually tied the knot in 2017 and have lived happily after since. The pair even proclaimed that prior to their marriage, they recommitted their lives to God. Oh, you did? Which God? See, this is where you get white Jesus from. You can do this with sweet white baby Jesus. You're not about to do this with the real power of the scriptures, man. How about H.I.M, man? You're supposed to be put to death. Straight up, man. Scripturally, you're supposed to be put to death. Right? Okay, it says the pair even proclaimed that prior to their marriage, they recommitted to their lives to God and practiced celibacy until they were wed. Are you serious? See the bullshit? They practice celibacy. What do you mean you practice celibacy? Celibacy. Boy, I tell you. Golly. Anyway, this is America though, man. This is Babylon the Great. But in addition to infidelity, the couple's large age gap raised eyebrows. Brad's own daughter, Jessica, is just 2 years younger than Chelsea, and it took her some time to accept her dad's unconventional new relationship. Now, however, she is a huge supporter. So she's a huge supporter of her dad leaving her mom for this bitch, man. Jessica is like one of my best friends. It's like we grew up together. See? There you have it, man. There you have it. There you go. For assless ass white chick. But anyway, man, this is just how the get down gets down. Meanwhile, Brad and Chelsea's son is now 8 years old and is often mistaken for Brad's grandson. People will say, yeah, all that good shit. Okay, anyway. Chelsea brings life to life. He cool. She puts love, relationship, and family at the forefront of our everyday life, and she lets me know that she loves me hard. But what's to say that, okay, you're 20 years older than her. Who's to say that she won't meet up with the next motherfucker and move on and do the same thing over again to you? And look at the picture, just no ass, just assless. Slovakia. It's like, goodness gracious, man. The dudes just go out for the just, man. Both of us have learned from the mistakes we made in the past and use those lessons to apply to our lives now, in order to enhance our current lives and not allow the same mistakes to be repeated. He added, "Man, get the hell out of here. You have no authority over the new mistakes to come. That lady is more than likely gonna leave your ass too." Okay, it took years for me to be okay with myself. I have forgiven myself, and we have asked for forgiveness from our ex-spouses and from God, Chelsea stated. It was an unconventional way to start a relationship and a family, but it worked. It sounds so cliche, but you should follow your heart. There you go. It knows exactly what you want, she added. Don't be afraid to see where life takes you. What did that scripture just say? What was that? Jeremiah? It says the heart is deceitful above all things. Let me see. I got to put it back in. You good? Hey, that thought pattern, man, gets you every time. Yep, Jeremiah 17:9. The heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it? See? Who can know it? She says it sounds so cliche, but you should follow your heart. It knows exactly what you want, she added. Don't be afraid to see where life takes you. Here we go right here. Let's get this Proverbs real quick. Proverbs 3 and 5. And it reads, trust in the Lord with all thine heart, and lean not into thine own understanding. See, her own understanding got her in that position that she's in right now, committing adultery. You see what I'm saying? And it's gonna come a point of a real fall. Verse 6, in all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths. See, that heart is deceitful in all things, man. That's why it's so important to pray to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai before, just getting into whatever, man. Because he got the answers. It's not like he don't know, man. He created all situations. He know the answers. So, you know what I'm saying? Hey, look, when it comes to this right here, this is where you get a bunch of your Kevin Samuels podcasts and shit like that from. A bunch of red pillness. Because a woman of this age, you done been with somebody for damn near 20 years, and then all of a sudden, as a matter of fact, when I was reading the story, she worked in a salon in Walmart, and she had an ant problem, and he comes through because I think he was like the manager or something of the Walmart or whatever, and he comes through, and then automatically you just spark this conversation, and you feeling if you're soulmates. Fuck the soulmate. Hey, look, man, I'm married. I got a husband, and no matter how attractive I may be to you, you got to overcome that goddamn lust. Because you're going to always see somebody that looks better than somebody that you're with. I don't give a fuck who it is. I don't care who it is. You're going to always see somebody that look better than somebody than who you're with. But you should be buckling down. Like you're going to give up the 15 years or so that you've been with someone just for a few seconds with a motherfucker. But that's the world that you live in. And in America, women have absolutely no accountability. None whatsoever, man. The so-called white man tell you can just fuck who you want. Ride the cock carousel, have 4 or 5 kids by 4 or 5 different dudes. You can get child support from each one of these dudes. They'll give you Section 8 for it. They'll give you food stamps for it. And then it's just keep on moving with it. Keep on going with it. And if this man don't pay child support, we'll run him down. We'll take away his license, driver's license, where he can't work. Or if we catch up to him, we'll arrest his ass. So the women have been gadding abroad for a real long time with absolutely no accountability. And you got women running around out here like this, and and they're showing this shit like she's just this huge happy family, right? Here's your huge. They're just so happy. Look at her with the little provocative dress on. So happy. With the little weirdo looking ass kid. What you think is gonna happen when it? Come on, man. Get the hell out of here. And this is your American life. And there's nothing wrong with it. They applaud stuff like this, man. This is Babylon the Great, though, man. This is the last days of the last days. Where this stuff right here is being applauded. So, hey, you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, man, you have to wake up and smell the coffee, because the so-called white man, he has destroyed our family structure to the point where it's done also fallen on them. They're actually reaping what they've sown, because you think some shit like, now don't get me wrong, there was little spits and spatters of little shit that happened back in the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. But pretty much overall, the so-called white man, the so-called white woman was not stepping out on her man like how they stepping out on their man now. You had some sneaky ones in the crew, but overall, you had those women that just went to church and they played bridge and they baked apple pies and shit. This is how you know this man's kingdom is through, man, because his woman. Hey, they always said that you could tell a kingdom by their women. And see, we been failed. You could been tell the so-called blacks about our women. You can see that our women from long ago, man, way back in the fucking 50s, 60s, especially going into the 70s, that we was through from there. But see, the so-called white man, they was still thriving. They had they wife at the crib and have a side bitch, and the wife at the crib would know they will have a side bitch and there will be no problems. But now it's like, they worse off than the Negroes, man. This is your American hookup right here. They're worse off than the Negroes, man. So the base men of the world are starting to fall, and the people are starting to see that this is the man of sin, the son of perdition. The so-called white man that fell off real bad when it comes down to this, man. When you'll take another man's wife, get with her, be in a New York Post and post about it as if everything is all good. Hey, and good riddance to him too, man. Hey, we're not tripping on it, man. You know. Now, is this wrong? Yeah, we got to bring out the fact that this shit is wrong, though. The same way that John the Baptist brought out that, you know what I'm saying? What was that? King Herod was sleeping with his brother's wife. You know, it's still adultery, man. And that goes to you Christian, you so-called Christian white people. Because this is supposedly be a Christian nation, right? Didn't they just say, you just seen in the article that she talking about, yeah, I forgave myself and I asked for God forgiveness and all this, that, and the third. But your husband is probably somewhere fucking distraught, probably got a drinking problem, a damn drug problem now, you know? Like, how could I lose my woman like that? And you know what I'm saying? Yo, you live in a small town, a small community. Every time somebody see you or see him, it's just embarrassment. Just ridiculous, man. Anyway, I just wanted to just touch on this for a hot sec. Hey, fuck that following your heart shit, man. The heart is deceitful above all things. If you got a situation where you just don't know what to do and you on the fence about something, man, hey, pray to the Lord. The brother just done a beautiful video today talking about time is the best thing. Just pray to Yahweh Bashim Yahushua and give it some time, man. Don't rush into nothing. Give it some time. And the Lord will work it out for you, man. You know what I'm saying? And to you wicked ass women that's out here doing shit like this, the Lord is gonna expose you, just like she got exposed. She wouldn't have went for that. She wouldn't have wanted that. They would have snuck around for the longest until somebody spotted their asses out. Like, I seen such and such and such and such together. And the Lord is gonna expose your ass if you out here doing your husband dirty, man. So with that, I pray that the lesson was edifying. Kwame Inshallah.